village of Valis, life moved fast. People spoke loudly, acted quickly, and expected answers on demand. But Elio wasn't like them. He was the quiet boy, the one who listened more than he spoke, who wandered in his thoughts more than on the roads. Others called it strange, but Elio, he just felt different. Not lost, just unheard. Somewhere inside he knew if the world wouldn't slow down for him, he'd have to go somewhere quieter to find his truth. One misty morning, as the sky was still yawning open, a raven perched on Elio's window. Its eyes were sharp but not cold. They shimmered with a kind of silent invitation. Then, without a sound, it flew toward the forest. Elio didn't pack anything. He didn't ask his mother. He just followed. Not with fear, but with instinct. Something inside told him this is not a journey of sight, but of soul. And so he walked into the woods toward a whisper he hadn't yet heard. The forest welcomed him with silence. Not emptiness, but a kind of fullness you can't describe. And there, nestled between ancient stones, stood the tree. Its bark shimmered faintly, roots twisted like time itself. Elio placed his hand on it, and suddenly, without words, he understood. A voice, not from the tree, but from within, awakened. It wasn't loud, it didn't explain. But in that stillness, Elio remembered something he never knew he'd forgotten: how to trust the quiet inside him. Elio sat beneath the tree, waiting. He asked no questions, but somehow answers came. Not like pages from a book, but like echoes from a memory. The tree didn't offer advice, it offered presence. And in that stillness, his mind slowed. His heartbeat softened, and his spirit leaned in. What do I do when I'm unsure? Listen. What do I do when others don't understand me? Trust. What if I'm afraid? That's when you know you're on the right path. These weren't thoughts, they were truths, rising up from inside. When Elio returned to the village, the noise was still there. The rush, the voices, the pressure to be something. But Elio was different now. He walked slower, he listened deeper. He didn't react, he responded. And when people asked, "How did you become so wise?" he smiled, not out of pride, but because he knew the wisdom wasn't from the tree. It had always been inside him. The tree had simply helped him hear. Years passed. Elio grew into a man of gentle strength. People from far away came seeking his guidance, not because he had all the answers, but because he helped them hear their own. They called him the listener. And sometimes, when the sky turned golden and the wind carried leaves into spirals, he would return to the forest, sit beneath that tree, and say nothing. Because in silence, he had learned, the loudest truths often rise. We are taught to seek answers outside, to ask, to search, to compare, to chase. But the deepest wisdom doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't demand attention, it waits for silence. Like Elio, you too carry a whisper, a knowing, a voice beneath the noise. And when the world gets too loud, remember the tree, and return to the place inside where wisdom still lives, not to be found, but to be remembered.